Good afternoon. This is Math with Mr. Samuels. Before you start this video, make sure that you have the notes. Today, our main focus will be learning the how to model integer subtraction. So make sure you have these notes before you begin, and we will be doing integer subtraction. So before we start, I just want to do a couple of things. I want to make sure that I remind you that when we're talking about on a number line, we're going to first show you how to model using a number line. Tomorrow we will discuss modeling using counters. So with that being said, when we model using a number line, okay, remember, as we move to the right, usually that's what we do when we are adding. So since we are subtracting, we're going to be moving to the left. So I'm going to show you how to do this on a number line. So let's start out with the first one. So it says the first one is 4 minus 3. So we always start out with where the first number is. The first number is 4. Okay, so we're going to put a dot there at 4. Let's make that a little bigger. Hold on one second. Let's make that bigger. Okay, so the first dot is at 4. Okay, so now they want us to do, hold on one second. Now they want us to go ahead and subtract 3. Well, when we subtract 3, we're going to start right there, and then we're going to move 3 spaces to the left. So when we move 3 spaces to the left, we're going to end up, 1, 2, 3. And when we subtract 3 spaces to the left, this is what our line ends up looking like. And we end up right back at 1. So that's exactly what we have when we do 4 minus 3. So we can represent that on a number line. So let's go ahead and do the next one. Well, first it says negative 5 minus 4. Well, first, just like we did on the other one, we want to start at negative 5. So I'm going to put a dot there at negative 5. Now we want to make sure that we go ahead and represent this on the number line. So it says subtract 4. So we're going to subtract 4. Remember, when we were subtracting, we're moving to the left. So subtract 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we end up at negative 9. But we want to make sure that we show this on a number line. So that is what I'm going to do. And when we show this on the number line, this is exactly how it looks. We draw a line from there to there. And this is how our number looks. We go 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we end up at negative 9. So as a result, for the first one, sorry, I forgot to tell you over here. So on the first one, we have the answer 4 minus 3 should be 1. And then on the next one, we have negative 5 minus 4 is negative 9. So this is representing integer subtraction on a number line. So now the next one we're going to do together is 3 minus 9. So 3 minus 9. 3 minus 9. Well, we still do the exact same thing. We're going to go to 3. And 3 is located right here. Okay. And now they want us to go ahead and subtract 9. Remember, when we are subtracting, we are moving to the left. So we're going to count 9 spaces to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, I messed that up. Sorry. So we're going to subtract 9 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So when we end up at negative 6, but we can show this on the number line. So let me go ahead and draw it. And how we would do it on the number line is by simply connecting the dots and showing where we end up. Okay, you could draw it either above the line like I did on the first 2 examples, or you can do it on the actual number line and shade it in. Okay, I would suggest that you show it right above up top. So now this next example, I want you to pay close attention to it. Okay, it's going to be a little tricky. Okay, I want you to actually read the problem. Okay, read the problem. So it says negative 5 subtract negative 3. So basically what they're saying is go to -5, and then we want you to go ahead and take away -3. Okay, so they're telling us to take away -3, subtract -3. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to -5. -5 is right here. And right now, notice on all the other ones, they wanted us to subtract 4. Well, when we subtract 4, we move to the left. This one is telling us to subtract -3 or take away 3 negatives. Okay, you can say it two ways. You can say subtract 3, -3, or you can say take away 3 negatives. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And one thing you're going to notice is when we have a double negative, we're going to move in the opposite direction. We will talk about this more in class because I know that this is probably one of the more confusing ones. So we're going to double negatives. We always want to take away -3. So if we're at -5, if we take away 3 negatives, then what we're going to have is we're going to move 1, 2, 3 spaces, and we end up right here at -2. So let me show you again. Right here, this is saying -5 minus -3, or we can say it another way. -5 take away 3 negatives, okay? So let's show this from a drawing aspect, okay? If we show it from a drawing aspect, first we're here at -5. They want us to take away 3 negatives. So this is taking away 1, 2, and 3, okay? And we end up at -2. Trust me, I know that that was confusing, so let's do one more to make sure we understand it. I will explain to you why this is in class when we start to explain the rules and how everything works. But just for right now, just follow along with me. I know that this might be a little confusing, but don't worry. We will elaborate in class. So let's do the next one. Okay, so right now, this one is telling us 4 minus -5 or 4 take away 5 negatives. So 4 take away 5 negatives. Okay, here's what we're going to do. First and foremost, we're going to go to 4 and we're going to plot 4. Start at 4 always. Okay, and let me make that a different color. Go to 4. Okay, and they want us to remember, take away 5 negatives. Okay, so what they want us to do is to take away 5 negatives, or go take away 5 negatives. So if we're taking away 5 negatives, we're moving in the opposite direction of 5 negatives. You can almost say that we're adding 5. The same way over here, we added 3. Anytime we have a double negative, we're going to add 3 or take away 3 negatives. We're going to go in the opposite direction of negatives. So the same thing down here. We're going to take away 5 negatives, or we're going to add 5. So that is what we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we end up at +9. So let me go ahead and draw that on our number line. Okay. We go from here, -4, +4, and they want us to take away 5 negatives or add 5, go in the opposite direction of negative. Anytime we have the double negative, they want us to go in the opposite direction. I will explain why when we start talking about the rules. And we go from +4 to +9. So the answer for this one should be +9. Okay, please do not worry, do not get confused. We are going to discuss all of these answers in class, and we're going to go over this and we're going to discuss it a little more in depth. Okay, so this answer 3 minus 9 was -6. Okay, we're going to discuss it more in class. So now the last example that we're going to do is -1 take away 9, or -1 minus 9. So we still do it the same exact way. Okay, notice that this one is not a double negative like 4 and 5. This is just a regular subtract 9. So we're going to go ahead and start at -1. And they want us to subtract 9. So they want us to remember, when we subtract, we go to the left. Only time we go to the opposite direction when we have double negative, negative, negative. Okay, so we're going to subtract 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we end up at -10. But we can also show this or exemplify this on the number line. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We started at -1. They wanted us to subtract 9. So we subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we end up at -10. So I know that today's notes are pretty quick and straightforward. We are going to practice this in class tomorrow. We're going to do plenty of more examples. So, and we're also going to discuss these double negative situations, okay? This is Math with Mr. Samuels. Have a wonderful afternoon or evening or whenever you're watching this video. See you tomorrow.